Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode, we got info from interviews with Hasbro folks at SDCC last week. Flame Toys has more awesome Furai model kits in the works, and we look over a bunch of leaked images of the yet-to-be-announced Masterpiece Cliffjumper. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022, and this is episode 497 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that also loves Star Trek and mourns the loss of Nichelle Nichols with all our fellow Trekkies and Trekkers. I'm your host, Charles, a.k.a. Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, a.k.a. Yakko.
Hello.
And Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Hello, everyone. And I get to say it. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and help keep the show going. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, just go and sign up at transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up either on Patreon or PayPal. And so we're without a Daryl tonight, so we'll have to somehow get through the toy show without him. But hopefully he should be back for alt mode this week. So he's gone, but not completely gone. Gone, but not forgotten. But of course, we couldn't forget him, but he'll come back. So
yeah, he'll be back just in time to talk about how much he's the number one Beast Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. All right. Well, this week, of course, we have the next episode of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. This is episode 81, Reservoir Bears. It just came out this Monday, August 1st. So it should already be in your podcast feed. You can find it on our website at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So enjoy. And Jeremy was recently on another podcast chatting it up and plugging our upcoming milestone. Jeremy, why don't you tell us all about that?
Yeah, I was invited by SP of Better Podcasting, which is a podcast about podcasting. They are kind of on a hiatus, but one of the hosts is inviting people on to talk about their show and kind of go into kind of how the sausage is made. And we were talking about, like, we're nearing episode 500 of this show, 300 of alt mode, and what we're thinking about kind of changing, tweaking, what's working, what's not. And I kind of went into a little bit of that, went into the history of the show, stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. I've known SP for a while, like online, and we've met in person at Star Wars Celebration. So it was great talking with him again. Yeah, if you want to check it out, we have it linked to both the YouTube version and the podcast version in the show notes.
Awesome. Yeah, I listened to a bit of it, and it was really great seeing you plug the show and talk about it. And you have an impressive podcast resume. So, you're season 3 of America's Best Top Podcast, next top podcaster, getting it out there.
I made it a few weeks in on that, so I guess that's something to be proud of. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of interesting looking back at the last 9 years of my life and like everything that has happened, like because of the podcast or just surrounding the podcast. And yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome. All right. We'll check it out in our show notes. Everyone can take a listen. All right. And before we jump into toys, we do have our monthly Toy Hacks drawing. So this is for July. So we're doing our $10 gift code from our friends at toyhacks.com. Thanks again to those guys for providing our prize every month. So this is going for all our Donatreons who are automatically entered into this monthly contest. And then anyone else who wants to enter, they just have to send an email to contest@transmissionspodcast.com with a picture of a Transformer toy they'd like to get some labels for. So we've got the entries collected for this month, and we're going to do the drawing. So Jeremy, is your assistant ready to help us out?
Computer, are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, if she could give us a number between 1 and 82.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 82.
Here's a number between 1 and 82. It's 65.
Our friend Steve, who goes by Wolfwood on the Discord, who I think is listening live. Congratulations, Wolfwood.
That's amazing.
Yay. Good job, Wolfwood. You
did it.
You worked hard to win that.
All right. We will be getting your $10 gift code out to you, and use it in good health. It's only $10, Wolfwood. Easy.
but it's toy hacks. So $10 can go a long way.
That's true. That's true. Get a bunch of penny things that are on sale for a penny. Get a lot of labels. And through the magic of editing, we've got Daryl on the show, even though he wasn't here for the rest of the show, but he's here to give us a special announcement because we've got another special episode of Let's Talk Transformers with Daryl coming out this week. And who is your special guest?
Well, yeah, we've got, I sat down with Mr. David Wallace from the UK, and he is one of the very important people behind the TF Nation convention. And I wanted to get a chance to talk with him because the TF Nation convention is a really popular convention, and it's happening right now. So it's going to be on this weekend, and you're going to want to, listen to this and get informed about what's going on, and all the other stuff we talk about. Because, I like to have find out what's going on with the my guests and talk to them about other stuff. And it turns out that David's also a huge comic book fan, and but he's on the other side of the fence from me. So he's a big DC guy like Jeremy. And so we had a good discussion about comics and then got into the movies and stuff like that. So we had a really fun discussion, and it went on probably far too long. And it was a very interesting and really enjoyable discussion. And then we really got into TF Nation and stuff like that. So it was great. I really enjoyed chatting with him.
Awesome. Although, slight correction, Daryl, TF Nation is next weekend, so you still got to wait a week. But
is it
coming? Yeah.
I thought it was this weekend. Okay.
But still, those will be. So you got you've got an extra week to prepare, so it's good.
Fantastic.
All right, back to the rest of transmissions. All right, well, let's jump into some toys.
All right, starting off this week, we have a Q&A here from Hasbro and why did I pick this one? I can't pronounce the name.
Kotobukiya.
Kotobukiya. They're the company that do those anime girl Optimus Prime and Megatron and Bumblebee coming up.
I mean, they do.
This was from what?
They do model kits overall too, like just mecha in general. It's not just anime girls, but I wanted.
Okay, but from what we've talked about, that's what they do. But yeah, so this is from San Diego Comic-Con, but it's a Q&A with both designers or people from them, and then also from Evan from Hasbro. So I thought it was interesting going through this because the Hasbro side is more general, related to anything Hasbro and not specifically these figures. They were asked about if we could see High Moon video game figures in Studio Series, and said anything is possible. Likewise, the same for off-screen movie toy line characters, TV show or comic characters. For Legacy, they said that nothing is off limits. So even things like animated, it's in the pool of things that they can choose from for Legacy. So that might be interesting. They don't know anything about new games. Cybertron Metroplex is selling well. They don't have the exact numbers, but they seem to be happy. They do plan on doing more Titans. They know that the fans want Tidal Wave, so I guess keep yelling if you really want a Tidal Wave. All the interesting stuff that we've been seeing on Instagram was pushed by our man Mark, and they are very happy with the experience and how it's been going. So I think that's a great sign. Mark is just showing he's got the pulse of the fans. He knows what we want, and it's paying off. He doesn't think redecos of Studio Series characters that have already been done would happen, to which, like, he says they would like to do it, but he doesn't know if it'll happen, which I'm like, look at Cup. You've done that one 3 times. Legacy, Cyberverse is also a possibility for Legacy. They may release Cyber Planet keys as in the weapons pack, because we saw, what was the Cybertron figure that just came out? Dr. Pants, you should know this.
I'm blanking. I wish you could see my face the minute you said it. I went wide-eyed, like, blah. Oh, crap. What was it?
You're not fulfilling Daryl's role well. Come on.
Oh, like Daryl would know about Transformers Cybertron. Come on.
Okay, well, anyway.
It's Override. From the Velocitron set.
So recently I saw some people with pictures of a Cyber Planet key, and there is molding in there where the key can fit in. It'll be interesting if they do release the keys in the weapons pack. Minicons, as they move more into Armada based figures, minicons are something that they are going to think about. Velocitron Cosmos, Walmart can ask for another run if they want to. Pulse is completely sold out. Someone asked about a G1 Dinobot Scorn, and he said that he'd prefer it in Studio Series somehow. And that would definitely have to be a limited release, I would think. They are working on the next HasLab for Transformers. They don't have any dates or details, and makes sense. It'll come out after the Victory Saber is done, I'm sure. Someone asked about Shatterglass HasLabs for previously released figures like Unicron or Victory Saber. They said that they would have to test the waters with something like Shatterglass Titans first. Mark and Evan talk all the time about doing the 13 primes. And he says if it happened, the Fallen would be a tank as expected. He would personally like to do Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, which, again, I think they recently did that with the gray version of Earthrise. Legacy is going to run for 3 years. As far as he knows, the current plan is for it to be a trilogy. So I guess we are on the first phase of that. Someone asked about animated Legacy, what's the character he'd most like to do? And he said Ratchet, Optimus, or Lockdown, but noted that Ratchet needed to be done better. Beast Machine's Viacons are what is most wanted. Someone asked about the possibility of a HasLab Light to do specific recolors or retools and stuff. And he says, no, it would probably be more Generation Selects or Pulse exclusives for these smaller figures. And then on the Kotobukiya side of things, someone asked about getting their things on Hasbro Pulse, and they wanted to do it, but there was timing and legal issues, so they were not able to. They are open to, or they're planning on recolor versions. Someone's asked about Shatterglass, and both Hasbro and Kotobukiya were supportive of that. They couldn't answer about Fembots, and someone asked about expanding the line outside of G1, and they might consider it, but right now they're focusing on the G1, which makes sense. They think that pre-orders are going well, but the pre-orders haven't ended yet, so they aren't entirely sure. And then someone asked about what led to the creation of this line, and the person in charge of the Bishujo line loves Transformers and just said she wanted to do it, and then they reached out to Hasbro, and it went from there. And I think this was interesting. It was unexpected to see something this in-depth. So if you want to see some of the questions I left off, go check the link in the show notes. Yeah, this was pretty cool. Do you guys have any thoughts or any questions that stood out for you?
The one about the mini-cons, because they said if they want to move more fully into Armada, they might think about it. I think this kind of goes with the Cyber Planet key thing, because like we said, Override, she has a Cyber Planet key port. I also believe they've pointed out that on the Titan Metroplex, there's Minicon ports all over him, too, that work with, like, older Minicons. So it'd be nice if they did some of them again, but I also highly doubt it because I think it was on a previous show we talked about how they don't want to do the Micromasters anymore because they didn't do well. And I feel like that would be kind of in the same boat, you know, where they don't want to go back to it because it didn't work out well. But maybe if you brand it Minicons, it'll go better. Who knows? I mean, those people are all of age. They all have disposable income. They want to buy their childhood.
I think as you move into the Armada toys, then branding something as Minicons, you're going to get the interest.
Yeah.
As long as they don't go crazy with it, like, you know, like they did back in Armada.
Yeah, no, I agree, because how many Minicons are there? It's ridiculous.
I mean, I think at the very least, they should be packing in Minicons with, like, Deluxe or Voyager figures that are from the, like, if your figure is inspired by the Armada line, you should pack in a Minicon with it. I mean, I know it's plastic is expensive and blah blah blah, budget, but you're raising the prices on every toy. You can't give me a Minicon with the character.
If Cybertron Metroplex is any indication, the answer is no, because he did not come with his drill bit Minicon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll be a Generation Selects exclusive with a bunch of accessories and then it'll have that Minicon for that Metroplex figure.
It'll be the release or the replacement of the weaponizers.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if they did kind of like what they did with the weapon pack, but instead of a weapon pack, it's like one of each of the 4 main Cyber Planet keys, a couple of the Minicons that should go with the figures, and then they threw in like a couple of the Energon style like combination weapons or something if they did any Energon characters, and they just called it like the Cybertron Trilogy pack.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be.
I mean, but all I really want out of this whole thing is just the Armada Bendy Prime with modern engineering and the Minicon that came with them, and I'm good.
Well, they showed it how many years ago, and they were like, it was just kind of a proof of concept. We're not doing anything with it. The other question I wanted to bring up, because this was the one that really stood out to me, was like, could we see a G1-ified versions of the new Dinobots like Scorn? And it's like, they said, well, if we do that, it would be Studio Series. But that sounds like the exact opposite, because wouldn't you want, like, normal-looking Scorn to be in Studio Series because he was in the movies? If you're going to G1-ify him, wouldn't that be Legacy? Because they G1-ify everything in Legacy?
Yeah.
I don't understand the answer to that question. Why would you do that?
I don't know. Right now, I think they're just G1-ifying everything.
Apparently, yeah. It's apparently what the people want.
Charles, did anything stand out to you?
Not in general. Like I think you hit all the high points. There wasn't really anything additional I wanted to mention other than more of I saw kind of a meta commentary. This was, I think it was from Mikey from Moonbase 2 on Twitter. I saw him talking about this interview, and I kind of agree with the sentiment he had. He basically said, like, don't waste your interview questions on, are you going to do this figure or are you going to do this figure? Mm-hmm. Because they can't tell you what figures are coming. They're never going to tell you, like, oh yeah, you got it right. That's in our next wave. I mean, so don't waste your interview questions on, like, just, are you going to do this one? Are you going to do this one? Ask, more like, thoughts about how they decide what goes in the line or what their thought processes are, or the
Instagram question was a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, that, so I kind of, I guess I want to, whoever gets the chance to do these interviews, kind of strike off all the questions about are you going to do this figure and replace it with better questions.
I completely agree. And like, whenever we get the chance to talk to anybody, that's just like one of my first things when I'm trying to think of a question is like, what do I know that they either can't talk about or they're just going to give a very generic answer, and I just scratch those off. And then like with the last one, Daryl wanted me to ask about the yellowing, and I thought that was a really kind of interesting thing because it was kind of,
mm-hmm.
It was a risk because they could have just said, give me a PR answer, but they actually went into details and stuff. But that was like on the edge of, it wasn't something I knew they would say no to. So be more thoughtful with your questions.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, that is all I got this week. Dr. Pants, what do you have?
I get to talk about my two favorite things, Transformers and model kits. Because we have images of Flame Toys Furai model Shockwave and Beast Wars Megatron. So we got color images.
Three favorite things.
This is true.
Beast Wars Megatron,
this is true.
too.
It's Beast Wars. I didn't even think of that. See, this is why I'm not the number one Beast Wars fan.
Daryl, where are you?
But anyway, we got color images of the Furai model Shockwave, which is the G1 Shockwave, but it's kind of done in that same kind of proportion style we saw the original Optimus Prime and a lot of the subsequent ones. Very kind of Japanese proportions and whatnot, but still very much a G1 Shockwave. I think it looks really cool. The second pose they have him in is from that cover. I think it's issue 6. Is that it, Charles? With the Transformers are all dead?
That's 5. That's 5.
Okay. That was close.
Issue 6 is Shockwave blasting Megatron, and they're fighting. That's actually pretty cool too.
That is a good cover. You're right. We also have a prototype image. This is gray though of the Furai model Beast Wars Megatron. This is hyper stylized, but definitely still kind of looks like Beast Wars Megatron. He's got the T-Rex head for one arm. He's got, I'd say it's a tail for the left arm, but it's more just a giant blaster with 3 big fins on it. He's got teeth all around the collar. This gives me kind of vibes of almost a Transformers Prime Megatron mixed with Beast Wars Megatron. This looks awesome. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like in color. It looks big and intimidating. I almost assuredly am going to pick this up because it just looks so cool. And also, they did say that pre-orders are going to start on the 29th of July, which is past when we've even recorded this podcast. So pre-orders are up for the Furai model RC figure or model that they are doing. So that's really cool. But these look great. I love the Shockwave. I'm a big fan of Shockwave, and I like that they're doing... It looks like a clear plastic barrel for the hand, for his gun arm, and clear plastic for the chest, and looks like you can kind of see through there. I'm really digging it. I think these look great. Charles, what about you? Do you love them? Do you love them as much as I do?
I don't know if I love them as much as you do, Dr. Pants, but they are great. I mean, I really like that they have the Shockwave posed as his iconic pose in the comic from Marvel issue 5, Marvel Transformers issue 5. That definitely will sell. If you're trying to sell this Furai Shockwave model to me, that's a way to sell it to me.
They did it just for you.
So I that looks great. The Beast Wars Megatron also looks cool. I mean, yeah, I really like his having the tail repurposed as a, it's almost like an Omega Supreme claw slash cannon combined into one. So that's a nice, cool improvement on Beast Wars Megatron there. I definitely want to see it in color and see how it looks. But yeah, these are 2 great figures. Good job, Flame Toys.
They're killing it. I really like their designs. Jeremy, what about you? Are you down for any of these?
I'm really intrigued by both of them. The Shockwave, I think, looks excellent. I do wish that there would be, well, at least we can't see it right now, but if there was light piping in the head for the eye, that would be like my only bit of improvement, unless there is light piping that we can't see. But I love the transparent pieces like you mentioned, and it looks G1 enough for me to be like a good Shockwave. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone came up with an LED light kit for the blaster hand. If they could recreate the classic G1 blaster sounds and lights with just a small little LED thing, that would be awesome. On the Beast Wars Megatron, I think it looks great. It does look very stylized, almost, I don't know. It's kind of like the Grimlock from the live action movies. Like if you look around the eyes and stuff, but I don't know. It looks really good. Looks very sadistic with the facial expression, but I think he looks fantastic, even in the stylized form. I really wish that they would do a G1 Beast Wars version, but this will have to sell really well, I'm sure. But I think he looks really good, and this one would tempt me as well.
Cool.
It is also interesting if they did 2 purple characters. I mean, we don't have purple on the Megatron, but he's going to be purple.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So good for all the people who love purple bots. We don't get enough of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say when it comes to the Shockwave, most likely that's not going to be light piping. I don't think you see that a whole lot on model kits like that. And I know, having built a couple of the Furai model kits, they just do clear eyepieces and that's it. On that note, if you're willing to do it, there are a couple of simple mods to get cheap LEDs into model kits like this so that they work really well. Or for the eye, I know there's a way you could just paint behind the eye to really get it to look like it's lit up, or at least reflecting the light a lot better. But somebody may make an LED kit for it too. It all depends on the assembly, because I'm not sure how much space there will be in the head or whatnot, because I don't know how many pieces go in there.
Yeah.
I would like to see the gun arm light up. I think that would be really cool. The one thing I did want to bring up, though, is I'm kind of surprised they're doing a Furai model of Beast Megatron, because they did a Furai action of Optimus Primal and not a model kit. So they're kind of splitting these between 2 different lines. And I don't know why they did that. I want a model of Primal. I want that to go with this. I don't want the action figure. But I don't know what they're doing. They have plans. They know what they're doing. They're doing well.
They're probably evaluating sales and just like you said, splitting the difference, and we'll see what future of Beast Wars stuff, where it goes, and you can tell that's where the sales were.
Yeah. It just released. The Beast Wars Lio Convoy model kit just came out. Like, it just, the pre-order started shipping recently, so I'd like to see how that goes and see how well that sold.
Isn't the action like basically just like the same size and scale as the model kits, just pre-assembled,
and more expensive?
Oh, okay.
Because the Optimus Primal, I want to say, was about $150.
Oh, okay.
But if you get the Lio Convoy model kit, it's like $80 or $90. So I'm honestly not sure. I don't know why, except for maybe, you got to put it together yourself, so it's less work for us.
Do they put more like detailing and paint apps on the action ones?
Probably, because you know what, there will be stickers to color correct it for the model kit, but the action figure, it's painted and everything. The Furai action Optimus Primal is going for $170 to $200 on different places like Galactic Toys, TF Source, and everything. So, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this Megatron model kit goes for, close to the 100 mark, because it's probably going to be big. It's probably going to have a lot of pieces. Shockwave will be way more tolerable, probably in the 40 range. Mm-hmm. That's all I've got for these. So, Charles, what do you have?
Remember all those we've seen kind of advanced leaks and details about a Masterpiece Cliffjumper, and we've got another batch of leaked images, this time right next to the Masterpiece Bumblebee. So Masterpiece Bumblebee 2.0. This Cliffjumper looks to be a retool of Masterpiece Bumblebee 2.0. So that's MP45. And so this Masterpiece Cliffjumper looks to be very real. I don't think they have not officially announced this Cliffjumper, have they? I don't think they have.
Yeah, I don't think there's been an official announcement.
Yeah. So it's interesting that we've got so much information about this Cliffjumper. So, but yeah, I mean, basically, if you want to see it in robot mode and car mode, you want to see how it compares to the Bumblebee. You've got all angles, how it compares to the animation model, how it transforms. All that information is in these images. So if you're trying to decide if you want this Masterpiece Cliffjumper, I think this will give you a lot of information. I think the only thing that's missing is what accessories come with Cliffjumper. That's the only thing that you can't see here. He doesn't have a gun or weapons or anything. Like there's, if you were looking for that sniper scope rifle thing that came with the Earthrise Cliffjumper that might be included here, but we don't see it here. So
Image 7 shows him with a gun pegged underneath the car, but it looks like it's Bumblebee's, so I don't know if he's supposed to come with the same one or not. But that's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah. So, but it does look good. I mean, it's very, animation model Cliffjumper. Like Masterpiece has gone heavy into the like making things as animation model accurate as they can. And this Cliffjumper looks very animation model accurate. And, of course, with that comes the faux chest. And that the chest is not the actual car hood in car mode because, it's super deformed in robot mode and a different proportion in car mode. So just be aware of that. That's the same with the Bumblebee as well. So, and you can tell that. But yeah, so if you really want a screen accurate Cliffjumper, and are still collecting Masterpiece figures, I have no idea what the price is going to be, but it'll probably be comparable to Masterpiece Bumblebee, whatever that was, but maybe add 15 to 20% with inflation. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a reasonable Cliffjumper Masterpiece figure. So, Jeremy, any desire for a Masterpiece Cliffjumper?
I don't know. I mean, I do have the first generation Bumblebee, so it might be interesting to get this Cliffjumper if the price is reasonable, which you never know with Masterpiece these days. Just to kind of get the Bumblebee 2.0 engineering, but in a different figure. I think this looks good. I don't remember being as impressed with the original images of this as I am now with what we see here. I do kind of wonder why they didn't Photoshop out the marking number on it. So whoever took these pictures, Takara and Hasbro, will be able to track down exactly who had them. So that wasn't very smart of the person, but I do appreciate seeing the pictures. I noticed kind of like as I was going through the pictures, just kind of offhand, I'm like, what's that? And I look, and the back of the car, the tail lights can flip down, and you have like little guns. I'm guessing like for like the oil slicker or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's a nice touch. I think, all in all, it looks really good. It does have that squished penny racer look, which, I think you either like it or you don't. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. I do like it on the original toy. So I don't know. It's probably fine. It would be nice if they did have like a spot where you could put a bigger coin in to kind of simulate the penny racer part, but I don't know. All in all, I think this is a very nice looking figure. Really interesting remold, because there are some places that you can tell and some places that you can't tell where the Bumblebee pieces are. So I overall, I'm pretty impressed with what they've done here.
All right, Dr. Pants. So what do you think of this Cliffjumper?
I'm a little mixed on it. I've been pretty much priced out of most modern Masterpieces. There's a couple of older ones that, I might track down that are cheaper and some third-party stuff, but I've been priced out of this. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the way the Masterpiece stuff has going like screen accurate from the cartoon, because I think it sacrifices stuff in a lot of different areas. I will say, from the front, this Cliffjumper looks really good. I really like how he looks, specifically from the front, and I love that head sculpt. Nails it. The car mode is adorable. I don't know how I feel about it being a Masterpiece like vehicle, because you think about the Masterpiece cars, and like most of those kind of they look like real world cars, and they're proportioned like real world cars, and this is proportioned like a penny racer, like a little toy that you had as a kid. So it's a little weird, but it's adorable. I love it. That being said, from the side and back, I kind of hate the figure, because like you look at it from the side and you just see all these flaps in the back that are the car mode that are going to unfold and wrap around the figure to make the car. Also, there's that big gray slider where the, I guess it's kind of like the spoiler that's on the back of the car goes. Like, it just doesn't look right. And the feet, They did this with Bumblebee, and it just looks like it's a bunch of squished, like he's standing on squished up car parts. It doesn't look elegantly like put together at all. It's just like a bunch of folded flaps. And I just, I display my Transformers, I display my figures, of course, and like I want them to look good displayed, but at the same time, no matter what figure it is, I like to take it down, I like to transform it back and forth and play with it. And I just feel like a lot of these modern masterpieces, like they're throwing the transformation out the window and not really thinking about a fun factor, but more of how can we get it from point A to point B, and that's it. And a lot of it is coming down to this kind of, like Cliffjumper and Bumblebee both feel kind of like weird shell formers to me, where the car mode is just a bunch of flaps on the back and on the feet that wrap around the robot, and that's how it transforms. And I don't like that. I want something more interesting than that, and not something that looks as fiddly. But again, if you're just going to display it, I think he looks really good. He'll look great on a shelf. And the car mode, again, adorable. The thing about the numbers, though, that I wanted to bring up, the very first image, the numbers are there. You can plainly see them. But then when you go to image, is it image number 10? The one on the side of the leg is blurred this time, and then on image 11, the numbers on the front are blurred. So they blurred them some of the times and not the first time. So I don't know what they're doing.
that makes it even worse, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it was blurred in the other ones.
I actually didn't even pay attention to the numbers until I was flipping through the images. I'm like, what's blurred there? And then when I got back to the front, it's like, oh, it's the numbers. Why bother? You left all the numbers perfectly visible in the front image. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
No, that's totally fair. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of shell formers either. And it seems like a lot of these masterpieces, the newer masterpieces, are going in that direction because, yeah, I mean, essentially it's not, I mean, that was the thing, the thing about Transformers, at least the toys that I always liked, was that the bits of the vehicle that are in the robot become the vehicle when it transforms. So, right. Yeah, I mean, I know, with animation, it's not the proportions are not gonna match the actual toy. When it's animation, you can take a lot of liberties with scale and stretching and squishing and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't need that. I don't need the animation models perfectly replicated in the toys. But
I mean, look back at like masterpieces from, was MP10 the first one that really like did it really well, where it was like fun to transform and it looked good, and then from there it was like and then they were like a lot of fun, but then they started going for the screen accuracy. And personally, my thought is, if you want a screen accurate version of the character to be on the shelf, then I think you should just go for a statue or a non-transforming figure, because I think honestly the transformation suffers. Because if they aren't shell formers like these, then they end up being the kind of figures that basically turn themselves inside out to become the vehicle. Because we've seen that too, where like all the vehicle, like you just basically turn the whole thing inside out, and that's what you get. I don't know. I mean, everybody's in this hobby for something else. Some just want the characters. I want toys that are I want toys that are fun. I want something to pick up and mess with and have a good time transforming back and forth. And I want them to look a little like the character, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, I prefer the masterpieces that the vehicle looked like the actual vehicle and the robot mode looked more like the cartoon. And that was like the era of MP10 and
Masterpiece
like
Sideswipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were all reasonably priced too. They were like $70-$80, and that's reasonable for a masterpiece.
Oh, these days with, that's like a leader figure.
Commander class.
All right, well, that's all our toy topics, but we've got a little bit left. We're going to go into some rapid fire toys.
Absolutely, positively, definitely. Nobody can get the job done faster than I can. Nobody.
All right, well, with our Toy Hacks drawing that we did this week, we thought it would be a good idea to go through the latest Toy Hacks update that just came out like just last week or so. So a bunch of new sticker sets up on toyhacks.com, so you can check them out. Check all these out at toyhacks.com. First in the Generations line, this is Legacy Studio Series, going back to War for Cybertron 2. We've got Legacy Blitzwing, got a new sticker set for that. We've got a Legacy Bulkhead, new labels for Legacy Bulkhead. We've got Junk Heap, Studio Series 86 Junk Heap. We've got labels and some parts. So we've got knuckle dusters for Junk Heap. So got some brass knuckles there. Looks pretty cool. We've also got another set for Studio Series Junk Heap to turn him into Gartan, which is a G.I. Joe Zartan inhabiting a Junkion body. I was not familiar with this. But if you need labels to turn your Junk Heap into a Gartan, toyhacks.com has you covered. Next, we've got a Diaclone labels for Diaclone 2-pack. So this is Generation Selects DK2 Guard and Legacy Silver Streak. So if you want labels for both those figures, the DK2 Guard is a repaint of Ironhide. That's the black Diaclone colored black Ironhide figure, and then Silver Streak, of course, is the blue streak. Next, we've got the Sparkless Seeker, but with labels that give it a military flair, so it looks like it'll fit right in with the Combaticons. So that's an interesting set of stickers there. We've got for some of your boutique figures. These are the pricier figures that you pick up. Daryl's got the Robosin Optimus Prime, borrowed from his friend, but I think his friend is letting him have it for a little while there. We've got labels for the Robosin Optimus Prime. So this is the fully autonomous Optimus Prime. So you want to flare up your $800 figure, add some nice new shiny details to it. There's also labels for the Lego Optimus Prime, which I might have to take a look at this and see if this will be good for me. And Jeremy, you might want to take a look too. But so those are those sets. And then for third party, we've got some upgrades from Non-F, label parts for our friend Non-F. A bunch of upgrade parts there. These are for a bunch of, I guess these are all War for Cybertron figures. Looks like we've got Ratchet, Ironhide, Wheeljack, Sunstreaker, and Prowl, I think. So labels for all the upgrade parts that Non-F produced that are going on these figures. Then we've got the Robot Paradise Acoustic Wave and Cassetticon. So this is the third-party sound wave. Got labels for that. And then we've got labels for the Fan Toys Hannibal, which is their Cerebros that turns into this is the headmaster for Fortress Maximus. So I guess their upcoming giant Fortress Maximus that will be coming at some point in the future. But if you can just get the head and you want new labels for the head there. So that is all the Toy Hacks labels in their latest upgrade. Again, you can check all these out at toyhacks.com and enjoy. And Wolfwood, you've got $10 to spend to take a look, see if there's anything there that strikes your fancy. You might want to, put that gift code to good use. All right, let's move on from toys topics and go into our trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on our YouTube channel. But we'll have the audio right here so you can listen as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's get into what we got this week. I'm going to go first. I've got my last item from TFCon Toronto. So this is I think I saved the best for last here. This is a good one. Hopefully I will get to do something with it soon. But this is Rodimus IDW Rodimus Furai Flame Toys Furai model kit. It's very stylized, looks just like the comic version. Very cool. Was really happy to pick this up. I got the last one at the booth, so I was excited about that. Can't wait to put these guys together. So
that box will look great right next to your other boxes.
Yeah, right next to my IDW Autobot Megatron. I've got both co-captains. I've got both captains of the Lost Light. I've got Rodimus and Megatron.
I'm not one to talk. I have the box for Megatron up there still.
Have you guys built any of them yet?
I built the Optimus.
Oh, okay.
I have not. Yeah,
they're fun.
I got to do it. I did my Lego Optimus Prime a couple weeks ago, so maybe I can get inspired to do these guys now.
That shouldn't take you as long as the Lego Optimus by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just recommend having little clippers and stuff because I tore my hands up.
Oh, yeah. I guess I gotta pick those up on Amazon. So, all right. Well, that's what I got. So, Jeremy, what did you get?
I also have my last thing from TFCon that I forgot. I actually forgot where I put it when I was showing off the stuff from TFCon, and then I needed to get my digital camera out for something this weekend, and there it was in the camera case. It's small, but it is another piece of official TFCon merch. It is a pin in their kind of, I guess, G2 styled logo. I'm a sucker for nice looking pins, so that was cool to see. And then in terms of Transformers, I showed it off last week in the box, but this time I opened up my Wrecker Twin Twist, and he's fun. He's a headmaster. I'm not sure who he was like remolded from.
Topspin.
Topspin. Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But I still absolutely love the logo and the paint job they did on the new Wrecker faction logo. But he's cool. The transformation is pretty good, although the waist just comes off so easy. Like during the transformation, it just kept separating. But I don't know, what can you do? Other than that, it's a good figure. I don't think I've ever had either one like Topspin or Twin Twist before this. So nice to finally get it.
The Titans Return Topspin, because I have it. I love that figure. He was cool. I never had problems with the waist though, but
yeah, it's really weird. I mean, there's just absolutely nothing holding this in.
Yeah, it's just a friction mushroom peg.
Right. So I can hear it click, or I can feel it click when I put it in all the way, but it's just there's not enough to just hold it in. But it's not like it's a joint that'll put a lot of stress or anything. So
it's annoying, but it's not like a game breaking.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about it, but it was just a surprise. I was like, wait, is this a weaponizer? No, it's not a weaponizer. No. So anyway, I could finally get my Overlord out and then have him in two pieces, like underneath Overlord or something. Anyway, that's all I got.
If you're looking for G1 Topspin and Twin Twist, apparently they are all over the place in the wild. According to our Discord, you can find them. They're plentiful.
Yes, I have a G1 Topspin, and I don't have like any G1 really left.
All right, well, Dr. Pants, you're gonna finish up the show since Daryl is curiously not here. Somehow he's leaving comments in the YouTube video, but he's not on the show with us. But yeah, I guess by default you win this week, Dr. Pants.
Yes, it's a technical win, but it's still a win. I'll take it.
It's the best kind of win.
Anyway, it's been a while, so I have a bunch of stuff to show off. And first things first, let's give a shout out to Editor Mike because he was able to get me some more stuff for my Cybertron Trilogy collection. He got me 2 Terracons. I got Cruellock and Insecticon. These are, I only need one more of the little characters, and I have them all. I am still missing the Terracon Dive Bomb, but I have all the Omnibots and all the Terracons but Dive Bomb. So, I honestly love the little figures from Energon. I think they're so much fun. They're so easy to transform, and they got the crazy combining clear weapons. just a blast. And again, thanks to Editor Mike for having these and selling these to me so I could round out my collection a bit more. I did get one Legacy figure. I found Legacy Blitzwing. And look, he's got the giant red hands for no reason. I kind of love the giant red hands. They serve no purpose, but I think they're cool.
So you can put giant red hands on a Legacy Blitzwing, but you can't give a Legacy Armada Starscream his Minicon.
No.
Okay.
Apparently not.
Too far.
Mean, granted, these are nothing. Like the only posability they have is there's a little bit of a wrist swivel, and they go up for some reason.
So they can bitch slap you.
I guess. But yeah. So honestly,
that's his pimp hand.
I'm gonna do a photo shoot later. The question is, who does Blitzwing bitch slap? Leave your comment below. Let me know who it should be.
That's better left to the audience.
Yeah, let them figure it out. But honestly, this figure is a lot of fun. The transformation is great. Yeah, in tank mode, the cockpit sticks out a little bit, but in all honesty, the G1 figure did too. And when it's in plane mode, there is a bit of junk underneath, but the transformation's a lot of fun. It is a clean robot mode. Storage for all the weapons, like the sword's hanging back here. The two guns can fit easily back here. What they did with the turret to reduce it down was really cool. I got to vote for Octane. Okay, so Blitzwing's going to bitch slap Octane. Unless anybody else argues. But overall, I really like the figure. I like the triple changes a lot. And Siege Springer, Siege Astro Train, they were really, really great and fun to transform. This guy's no different. I'm just really hoping that we do get Legacy Octane at some point to kind of put with this one. The Titans Return figures were cool, but honestly, I think these are a bit more fun and also a bit more stable.
I might vote for Hot Rod. Come on down, Auto Brat.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Get Studio Series Hot Rod out.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right. My last two figures go together, and one of them kind of goes along with Jeremy, because I also got a Wrecker. I got Wrecker Springer. And this was the only Wrecker I wanted, because I think this looks better than Siege Springer. None of the dirt, none of the grime, and honestly, I like the color separation a bit more. Oh, you got him too? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I showed him off last week.
Oh yeah, I'm a little behind, but I liked Siege Springer a lot, and I like this deco a lot. I like the toy deco. I think it's cool. I agree with you that the paint app and like the design for the logo and everything looks really great. It's like a metallic light blue. Of course, it's not going to focus, but looks great. And the transformation's fun. Love it a lot. The one that goes with it is because I missed out on TFCon Toronto, I bit the bullet and got a third-party figure I've been looking at for a while after doing a lot of research, because there's a lot of versions of this character in the third-party market, but I got the one that I like the best. I got Unique Toys Alan.
Oh.
So this is a third-party Springer, and he is a chunky boy. But we all know that Dr. Pants loves big bots, and he cannot lie. I've actually been wanting this figure for a while, and none of the other Springers really impressed me to make me want them any more than this. His bot mode's okay. The color isn't exactly perfect because he's got like yellow feet. And the face is... Can you focus on the face? The face is pretty good. What I love is the transformation and the vehicle modes look awesome. And also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but he's got some Toy Hacks labels on him. Yeah, whoever I bought this off of had put Toy Hacks labels on him, but decided before selling him to scratch them all off. And, yeah, so there's some markings underneath all these stickers. So you are correct, Daryl. There should be an episode where we talk about that. But honestly, the Toy Hacks labels go a long way to making him look even better because the color is not nearly as monotonous. And also, I love the labels for the sword. The sword's supposed to be all white, but like the sword is now covered in labels, and I love the color for it, which of course, you know, sword becomes the helicopter blades, but fun figure, transformation's great. I will say there's one problem. You're going to hate it, Charles. He's got a fake chest. Yeah, there's a fake chest.
But why?
The size. So to actually accommodate for it, like the proportions on the like front of the car are different than the chest, by a little bit, but like honestly, if I transformed it and showed it to you, I don't know that you would notice. But the like car chest is hidden like right in here. This green plastic, that's the car chest / helicopter chest. And then there's that. But again, I don't mind it. He looks great. He's a lot of fun. And again, big chunky boy. And he's a triple changer, and I love triple changers. So there is my big purchase for this time. Oh, and rubber tires. He's got rubber tires.
Nice.
Yes.
That kind of offsets the fake chest.
It kind of does. Like, I love everything else about it, and the transformation is just so much fun. Pretty much the entire vehicle mode is in the legs. Like, you wouldn't imagine it, but like the legs kind of undo and wrap around the main body to become like the sides of the car and helicopter. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool transformation.
I think we just stealth announced we like big bots. I don't think we mentioned that we've got a new show coming out soon. You know, so something for the Donatrions coming soon. You know,
there you go. I mean, we have filmed a number of episodes. We've talked about a lot of big bots because I got a lot to say. So does Daryl.
All right, stay tuned for that. And you got to be a Donatrion to listen to. This is something new we're got coming for you very soon. So stay tuned. All right, well, that's it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with convention news.
All right. We have a lot of convention news this week. A lot of these are kind of toy news, but they were all at conventions. So first of all, we have Wonder Festival in Japan. Flame Toys showed off their Kuro Karakuri Cyclonus Jazz Jetstream and Jet Power Armor. They also showed off a Nemesis Prime and their Victory Saber, the color prototype of the Nemesis Prime, and then the Victory Saber I think we've already seen even at San Diego Comic-Con. But these all look good. Some of these I think we have also seen before, but they're just continuing to rock and get things out. The next thing I have here is at the AGCHK 2022 event. This is the Animation Comic Game Hong Kong 2022. Hasbro had a big booth there. They just showed off Victory Saber, Masterpiece, Legacy, nothing new. But if you want to check out some more pictures of some of these figures, looks like there's a lot of really good pictures here. We also had more pictures of the Masterpiece MP56 Trailbreaker at the same event, and Trainbot Getsui prototype. So, I mean, all of these I believe we've all seen before. And then at the same convention, a Flame Toys Furai model, G1 Megatron, Guilt Thor, Hound RC, and more. I'm not sure what the Guilt Thor is, but they also have the prototype here, the Beast Wars Megatron, among other things. So check that out. Like I said, Flame Toys is just rocking. And then finally, closer to me at least, Dairy Con has announced their fall special, which is their smaller, kind of more intimate show, is how they describe it, September 24th at St. Killian School in Hartford, Wisconsin. Admission is free. Tables will be provided. I'm guessing that's if you want to sell. And the first 20 people will get a, quote, patented Dairy Con gift bag. So it's fun. I'm going to try to attend and just check it out. It's been a while since I've been to Dairy Con because of the pandemic. So the fall special looks to be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's free. So if you are in the Midwest and you can make it up, give it a shot. And then they have their bigger one in the spring. So that is all we have here for convention news.
All right. Just a note about Gil Thor. I just looked him up in the TF Wiki real quick. And apparently Gil Thor was a Quintesson creation, a fusion of Optimus Prime and Megatron. So Optimus Prime with Megatron's fusion cannon and Megatron's legs.
It was in the manga.
Yeah.
It looks impressive. They just needed to have a better name.
Yeah, I don't, well, it's again, it's the manga.
It's Japan.
I mean, you guys have the manga. You should read it. It's a blast.
Yeah, I'm looking at the early name of Gilthor in the conceptual art was Convotron, which I think actually sounds better. I don't know why they made it Gilthor. I don't know what the Gilthor is coming from, but whatever. Oh, it's in the wiki here. It says Gilthor's co-creator Masumi Kaneda stated that he was inspired to name the character after an evil submarine, Girutoru, from an old Japanese superhero show called National Kid, as the Transformers Gilthor also emerges from the seabed. He further proposed that in English the name be interpreted as a combination of Gil, the man's name, and Thor, the god, although using a non-English pronunciation closer to Tor. So Girutor, I guess. Sure. Anyway, I guess we should end the show here. So this takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. So thank you once again to John 4X Levengood and Demon Tech 82. We really appreciate you continuing to support us at our highest level on Patreon, and that's why we give you a shout out in every episode. And of course, got to give a shout out to Dr. Pants. Thanks again for joining us this week. Why don't you tell everyone about all your stuff online, particularly Nerdstradamus?
So thank you once again for having me, guys. It is always a blast to be here, and I love to do this. You can find me and my nerdy friends doing all of our stuff at Nerdstradamus. That is our YouTube channel. We have nerdstradamus.com. We're Nerdstradamus on all the social medias. You can find us all there. We do mostly video game stuff. We do robot things, too. I mean, I'm a part of this thing, so of course there's robots. If you want to follow me, I'm Dr. Pants1412 on social media. I'm on Twitter and I'm on TikTok, and I do robot things there. So make sure to join us. And as far as Nerdstradamus, join us on Wednesdays and Fridays when we stream on YouTube and Twitch around 9 o'clock on Wednesdays and 7 o'clock on Fridays. We've been a little absent lately because life got in the way, but we're coming back to it because we miss everybody.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.
Daryl is running late, so he will not join us for the toy show.
He says screw those toys.
I guess I'll just have to carry trips to the store.
He realized you were coming on and was like, oh shit.
All right, well, let's jump into some toys.
I realized that y'all could not hear that. Hold on.
You're first, Jeremy.
Oh, damn it, Daryl.
I got 5 today.
You're probably going last.
I mean, I had a feeling. So I bought Trex, and I'm flipping him. I don't like the figure. Like I said, I love toys that are fun to transform, and honestly, it's like, nope, I'm not dealing with this.
No. And he still did an interview with us, so I guess I didn't piss him off too badly.
Wow. I've been in San Diego, but that was on a layover. It's like I've never been really anywhere further west than Ohio, and Ohio sucks. Was not a fan.